last night, and we should definitely reopen the case with the bar owner, Jefferson.
Yeah, definitely, man. You could probably talk about it with me in the car or after. But let me just finish my alchemist essay that was due yesterday, and then we can head to the bar where the crime happened.
Okay, go right ahead.
Yeah, thanks, man. See ya.
Hey, it's dark in here. Can't even see anything. Can you see anything, Rob? Rob?
I just noticed the dead owner here, and they just left him like this, without a proper burial. It's so just sick.
It's disgusting. This guy's been here for years. Well, alright. I'm gonna go investigate some stuff somewhere else.
Okay.
You know, stay here and don't get too crazy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to sleep for a little bit.
2 hours later.
Rob! Rob! Rob, wake up.
Wait, what happened?
I found the 2 guns I was using in the murder.
Uh-huh. Okay. I guess we'll just head back to the office and, look at it with Dr. Lee.
Yeah.
I really need to go to sleep, man.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rob, you're the new guy in town, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know anything about this case?
No.
Okay, well, let me give you a rundown. So Jefferson, he's out and about, and he hitches a ride from 2 buddies, Brother and Bear, who happen to be brothers. So he gets in the car with him, and they take him into town. They take him to a bar. Now, Mr. Grope is the owner of this bar. Mr. Grope knows Jefferson, so he's not alarmed by this. So they're making small talk, and Brother and Bear order some drinks. And Brother and Bear don't have any money for the drinks. So Mr. Grope, he's not having that. He says, no, you can't have any drinks. And Bear goes around the counter. Mr. Grope pulls his gun.
Oh.
Then Brother and Bear both pull their guns.
Oh.
And then they get into a shootout.
Oh my god.
And all 3 of them die.
Oh.
Okay, so Jefferson, he's left. He's the only one left.
Mhm.
He's sitting there, 3 dead bodies, and he's a little slow too. You gotta keep that in mind. So he has no idea what to do. He panics. So he takes a drink, cools his mind, and then he steals money from the cash register, and that's when they catch him, red-handed.
So he was just there at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, he caught him. No evidence.
It escalated really quickly.
Yeah.
Welcome, boys.
Hey, Mr. Grope.
Hey.
Do we have 2 vodkas?
Oh yeah, sure, let me get it. That would be $7 for today.
Oh, can you just put on a tab? We'll pay you back.
We don't do that here, I'm sorry.
Come on, I need this.
No, we don't do this at a fine establishment.
Grope will pay.
No, I'm sorry, I don't do that.
This is Grope.
Wait, what?
I need this.
No, you don't.
Vodka.
No, you don't.
Hey, 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 hey! Ah, no!
Okay, Jared, let's see what we got from the bar.
Yeah, Dr. Lee should be able to scan these guns for us.
Yeah.
Oh, gentlemen, what brings you two today?
Hello.
Well, my colleague and I are reopening the murder case of Jefferson at Grope's bar, and we'd like you to scan these guns for us.
Alright, let me just run this under the fingerprint scanner real quick.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Two hours later.
Hello, Dr. Lee. What do the results say?
They say that only Brother and Grope held the guns, which proves that Jefferson did not commit any murder.
Aha! I knew it. They only accused him because he was black.
Yeah, the past is the past, but now we have proved him innocent, and now we have cleared his name.
Thanks, Doctor.
Welcome to my show, boys.
Thank you
Thanks
for having us.
So, tonight I want to talk about the investigation of the murder at Grope's bar in 1948 with Jefferson, Brother, Bear, and the owner.
Well, I was thinking about it a few nights ago, because we don't really get that many triple homicides here, and it just bugged me that they didn't scan any of the weapons for fingerprints at all.
So I figured, why not reopen this case to at least say this guy's name?
And what about you, Bob?
Well, I just started investigating, and whenever I went with Jared to go investigate the bar, in the car ride and after, he was telling me how absurd the reason he got accused for the crime, and they didn't use any serious evidence.
So this Jefferson guy, what was he like?
Well, for the times, he was average. He was a young, 21-year-old, uneducated field worker. And he lived a pretty average life until he was accused of murder and robbery, and then he spent the rest of his life in prison, waiting for an inevitable execution.
Very interesting, yet very sad.
Yeah, indeed. He lived in a bad time for black people. They didn't have equal rights, and he was a scapegoat. 3 people died, and he had to pay the price for it.
So, what happened after Jefferson got caught?
So he was taken to court right after with the police, and he was tried guilty of robbery and murder, and he was sentenced to be executed, which really frustrated me when me and Jerry were talking about this, because they took this so lightly and gave him such a major consequence, which wasn't really right.
So, thank you for sharing information about the investigation. And I do agree that the judiciary system should have asked for more evidence for such a serious accusation. And I am proud of you boys for trying to clear Jefferson's name.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
So what was your name again?
Grant Williams.
And you visited Jefferson several times before the execution, correct?
Yeah.
Well, what was it like the first time you visited Jefferson?
Well, when we first entered, we met Deputy Paul. I didn't really like him, and I was sure he didn't like me either. He had us empty our pockets, and he told us that Jefferson had been quiet, not making any disturbances or anything like that. After explaining the things that we couldn't bring to the cell, he brought us to Jefferson.
What was Jefferson like during the first visit?
For a while, he didn't really respond to anything we said until Miss Simmer, his godmother, offered him some of her fried chicken. But then he said that it didn't matter, that chicken and dirt were all the same for him for some reason.
And after that?
Well, and then he started asking about me. He asked if I was with them and if I was going to check that switch. Miss Simmer asked what he meant, but he wouldn't answer us. We left after that, and the next couple of visits pretty much went the same way.
Did you ever make any progress?
Yeah. After I started visiting Jefferson by myself, I was able to have real conversations with him. He thought of himself as a hog that we were fattening up to kill. Once the execution date was set, though, that was when I was able to really get through to him. I bought him a radio so we could have some connection to the outside world, and a notebook so we could finally write his thoughts down. I was even able to convince him to face his execution with dignity as a representation of black discrimination, but I myself refused to see his execution.
Alright, that should be everything we need. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
We gotta keep looking. There's definitely more to this case than we thought.
I keep telling you, Jerry, we've been over this place many times. There's nothing left. I have to go home to study for my alchemist test that I haven't started studying for.
That's your fault. If we stop looking, the case could go dry. So keep looking.
Okay. Jared, look what I found.
Let me see it. You could definitely use this.
Yeah. You still need me, or I can go?
No,
Alright. See you, Jared.
Bye.
Dear Mr. Wiggin, I know you said to write some, but I don't know what to do because I ain't never done this before. I'm sorry about what I said about your girl, Mr. Wiggin. I was angry and you was pushing me, but that ain't no excuse. I'm eating now. Tell Nan the food's good. I'm real tired, Mr. Wiggin. I can't get no sleep because I keep dreaming. I'm just walking and walking and walking forever, Mr. Wiggin. I see a door in the distance, but just before I get there, I wake up every time. Easter soon, though, so that's good. Easter weren't no good. Reverend Ambrose just hounded me all day, asking me about the Lord and why he died, when he died. He said if I could ask for forgiveness, That would make Nan Nan happy. Still can't sleep, Mr. Wiggin. This time I was thinking about the Lord. It ain't fair, Mr. Wiggin. Lord ain't do right by me, but Reverend say he loved me. That don't make no sense, Mr. Wiggin. Ever since I was young, all I did was haul that pail and brought the water to the workers and they got it. The Lord don't work for no po folk like me. Only a few days now, Mr. Wiggin. Don't tell Nan Nan, but I hope I can see her one more time. There's a lot of folk here, and I'm not sure why they here. A lot of them spoke to me real kind, and so many cheering came too. They prayed for me, and they say the Lord looking out for me. It was real kind of them to come visit. I'm really trying to listen, Mr. Wiggin, but I just can't, sir. Folk like me just meant to haul water and cut wood. Nan Nan looked real tired, and they know, Mr. Wiggin. They got to help her get up. I worry about her lots, Mr. Wiggin. I really tried not to cry, Mr. Wiggin, but it's just too much for me, Mr. Wiggin. I'm sorry. Sheriff asked me what I want for supper, and I told him I want some of Nan Nan cooking and some ice cream for dessert. I'm nervous. I can hear my teeth chatting, and I ain't sleep at all, but sun coming up now, Mr. Wiggin. Sky blue. Goodbye, Mr. Wiggin. Tell him I'm strong. Sincerely, Jefferson.
All these damn chains, modern slavery. But this ain't 1800, so they paid me. Yeah.